Does this game kind of show the value of having vets like Fred and Steven who can, keep their composure and, really help put the game away in the fourth?
Yeah, I mean, that's always valuable, of course, but full team contribution. Off night from a few guys, and others came in and stepped up, but yeah, obviously Steven was big as far as with Alpie got some fouls and then knocking down the free throws and doing what he does defensively, so it all helps, but good to have some vets as well.
Do you believe in like the whole playoff mode thing, and do you think that that's something that Fred has been able to achieve?
Yeah, I mean, I think people, especially veterans, know the urgency of the playoffs, and it gets monotonous at times through a regular season, and so sometimes pace themselves, saves themselves for the right moment, and obviously Fred came out not shooting his best, and he's had some really good stretches lately, and so he knows what it is. He's been a champion, been there, done that, and so wouldn't expect anything less than that from him.
Coach, in 6 games, you've seen just about every version of this Warriors team. To have that kind of spirit coming down from a 3-1 to tie it up at 3-3, I think that's been a theme for this team all year, but how was it from your vantage point, in this kind of environment tonight?
Oh, it was good. It was fine. I think, we knew they were going to come out aggressive, and for us it was do more of the same, more of what we've done. Defense travels, our physicality and our awareness has improved throughout the series, and in general, I think our young guys aren't really fazed by things. They just continue to play through it, and like you guys mentioned, they have really good veterans that steady them at times, and so for us, it was just continue to do what we did to get here. Even in the games that we lost, we didn't play our best. We played the average game at best, and there were some one-possession games, and when we've played good basketball, we've had some blowouts, and so that bodes well, knowing that we can kind of ramp it up there, and if you just have an average or above-average game, you'll be in good shape.
Coach, coming into this game, the previous 2 games, Fred has shot like 67% from 3 or close to it. Do you expect them to continue sort of devoting so much to shutting down Jalen Green and kind of letting Fred do his thing?
Yeah, we talked about that. We like them on the court together for that reason.
Okay.
They put one of the better defenders there, but guys are really setting screens. I think our pace has been better, and so you're getting a lot more freedom and wearing them down a little bit. So we'll see what they do. They've switched lineups quite a bit so far, but at times it feels like they're going for defensive lineups out there, and then offensive, you can only have a little bit of both. And so Fred's been aggressive, picking on that, and if they do adjust with Jalen, he'll have some freedom as well.
You guys really came out swinging in that fourth quarter. What did you like about that sense of urgency that you saw from your whole team?
Yeah, we were a little disappointed, that they won the third by 3. We let them score 36. That's way too high for us. And felt we had opportunities to kind of push the lead up like we did in the fourth. We got to 7 or 8 a few times and lost guys on cuts in our zone, or they got offensive rebound. They had 9 second chance points in that quarter. And so we felt we were right there to kind of cracking it open, and, we came out and did that. And after giving up a 36-point quarter, other than the last 10 that some of their third unit got, we held them to 13 in that quarter. So really good bounce back defensive quarter, 1 for 16 at the 4-minute mark, and so did our job there. And then obviously kudos to our vets and Steven for sitting up and knocking down the free throws, and that's where we extend the lead.
Like they've done earlier in the series, they fouled Steven to try to get you to take him out, and you didn't budge. Can you just kind of talk about that chess move and your decision to stick with Steven?
Yeah, I mean, it's time and score situation. We feel, obviously, if you're holding somebody at 1 for 16 and, 4 points or whatever in the first 8 minutes, feel good about our defense. So that's going to sustain regardless of if he made them or missed them, but also helps him get in the rhythm to leave them in. The other night when they did it, I think at the 3-some minute mark, we could go another minute or so before we got him back in, and it was in a tighter game, and so that was the decision that night. But for the most part, confident in him. And like I said, if you're defending at that level, you're not going to take that out and go away from that.
Coach, for a long time, we haven't seen teams go zone when Steph Curry's on the floor. Only really box and one has been tried. You came up with this zone. Now it's 2-3, but you have the box and one principles in it. How did y'all come up with that and teach the players that kind of on the fly? As far as I know, I haven't really seen anyone do that before.
Yeah, I mean, it was out of necessity when we started playing our bigger lineups and playing against some teams with small ball. and so we wanted to protect some matchups there. But the communication is probably even better in our zone than in man-to-man, and obviously we're dominant with our size. We put Jabari at the 3 in a bigger lineup there, and so we don't have a lot of cross matches or mismatches. And I've gone to it and saw that it worked, and like I said, I think Alpi and some of those guys are kind of feel some comfort with having Steven and some bigger lineups in there as well. So out of necessity, honestly, not a lot of teams are playing double big lineups, and we like what it does. Our activity up top is great, and then the principles with obviously Curry and recognizing where he is in the zone. It takes a lot of communication, and if you stay with him, we fill those spots behind it.
Coach, there was a period in the fourth quarter you talked about where I think the Warriors missed 15 of 16 shots. What was the key defensively in terms of staying aggressive and staying within that scheme?
Yeah, locating Curry was a big part. Giving up the shots that we wanted to guys, and we knew if we rebounded better than we did in the third quarter, we limited them to one shot, we get out and run. They did some of the fouling, so they got into the bonus early and kind of slowed the pace down where we could set our defense as well. And like I said, Steven knocked those down. But I think our awareness on Curry, our communication, sometimes you have 2 on them and everybody else has to scramble, but if they're going to play a certain defensive lineups, they're going to have some weak links offensively out there that will live with the shots, and that paid off tonight.
Coach, with games 3 and 4 in this building, we're pretty emotional a lot after the whistle stuff. Seems like that stuff has kind of gone away now. You guys have just played basketball these last couple of games. Is that something you guys talked about just as a group, just to cut out the extracurricular stuff and just play?
Yeah, well, it was a mantra going into the series. It was play through everything. It's going to be a physical game. Don't ask for anything. We want to be physical. So if the refs allow it, or that's how the style of the game is played, that favors us more often than not. And so, yeah, I think guys are past that point. There was some chippiness a few times here and there, but it seems like it's the norm every now and then this game in this series. And so, I think guys are past that. They don't understand what's on the line and what to play through. And if they don't, I kind of remind them.
Why do you think this communication is better in zone?
Because you're matching. You don't have a man or a matchup. You have to more so cover an area, and obviously you want to recognize where certain players are as well. And so, it forces you to talk. You should do it at man-to-man with some of the switches as well, but there's less hesitation, and it does take them out of some of their sets as well. So, forces you to talk, and I would say more than anything, you're not chasing one guy around the whole time. Alpi is in the spot. He's handing guys off, and Fred and Amen and Jalen are really good up top. And so recognizing when to stay with Curry and guys or hand them off to our bigs, and you just have to be on point with the communication, especially in zone. Thank you.
Steve, you said you felt good going into this game. Did you think this was just an energy level situation? Was a loss of confidence? Just generally, what would you explain?
I didn't like our first half with the turnovers. I think we had 10, and that's the key to the whole series is our ball security. And so the 10 turnovers in the first half got us off to a rough start. With that said, we're down 2 going into the fourth. And I thought the key play was the 4-point play to start the quarter. And that's on us as a staff. We've got to be we got to make sure they're matched up. And, they just threw it. We didn't guard VanVleet. They threw it up the floor, and he knocks it down and gets the free throw. And that felt like a game-changing play because, it's, like I said, 2-point game. We're right where we need to be despite not having played very well and turned it over quite a bit.
Steve, do you see a common thread or commonality with the turnovers? That's such a big issue. Is there something that's similar between them? Or
we have the 3 wins in this series. We're averaging, I think, 10 or 11 turnovers. So it's just we're in a rush. We got to slow down a little bit.
With that being said, there was the 4-point play, but I think you guys missed like 14 of 15 shots in the fourth quarter. What happened offensively, would you say, during that stretch?
Well, they were in a zone. They played Adams quite a bit, and he's at the center of that zone, kind of a 2-1-2. I thought we got some good looks against the zone. But then once they pulled away by 10 or 12, it was easier for them to run us off the line. We had a lot of openings, but they were using their length to run us off the 3-point line, knowing that we had to make threes to get back in it. And I thought they did a good job of kind of running us off the line and keeping us from, knocking down threes to get us back in the game.
It would kind of seem outside looking in that you guys, your issues are not being able to solve this zone. But from some of your answers, it sounds like you feel okay about what you're getting
Yeah.
against it. I mean, like, do you go to Game 7, believing that you can, like, how much change do you think is needed against the zone, or not?
How much change?
Yeah, how you're attacking it, personnel, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's, playing zone offense is really about getting the ball to open space and then filling behind the play and moving the ball. And like I said, we've had a lot of good zone possessions in this series. And I thought we had some tonight, but, I think we'll do a better job in Game 7. We've got another tape to watch, and, we'll see some things. But, it's definitely been a factor. Adams was fantastic tonight. 31 minutes, probably the most he's played, in a couple of years. But he was so effective that Ime kept him out there, and they controlled the game while he was out there. We fouled him, and then they got a couple of rebounds after his missed free throws too. So that wasn't very effective ultimately. So we got some things that we can clean up. We got a Game 7 though, and we're excited about that.
Coach, 37 from 90 from the field, 15 for 49 from beyond the arc. Do you think fatigue played a role in that?
No, I don't think fatigue was a factor.
Obviously, Game 7, maybe everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table for Game 7 for sure.
Yeah, given some of the struggles maybe some of the other guys are having, even taking a shot, but definitely making them. I know it would be a lot to ask a guy who hadn't played a lot. Is Jonathan Kuminga on the table to play?
100% he's on the table. I mean, we this. We've kind of found a formula here in the latter part of the season, and we've stayed with that formula to start the series up 3-1. Things are going well, and then obviously the last two games have gone very poorly. We have to assess everything, and lineup combinations, starters, all of that we have to assess, and we feel like we got a great chance to go down there and win Game 7.
Steve, as the Rockets kept answering your comebacks, it looked like certain guys were starting to show signs of frustration. Draymond, Pods. I mean, is that an issue for you guys right now, just trying to stay together?
Staying together will not be an issue. This team has been connected and has been through everything. There's no question the frustration tonight set in. I could see it, the body language. We can't have that. We can't afford that in Game 7. We've got to stay tight whole way through. And like I said, I like our chances. I've seen what this group can do over the years. We've been in a lot of Game 7s, I believe, and had a lot of success. Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler. I mean, he's been in, all of these games and is one of the clutch performers in the league. So we'll get ready. We'll regroup and be ready to roll.
VanVleet has been super hot past few games. Yeah. What have you seen defensively against him, and what could you guys change to?
Well, we started Gary because of Fred. The last two games, he was 12 for 18 from 3. Tonight, I got hot again, 6 for 9. Tonight, it felt like offensive boards and kickouts. I thought we handled the pick and roll stuff much better than last game, and so it didn't feel like he was getting his threes on, on pick and roll action. It was more, second chance opportunities. They got some offensive boards, kicked it out. They had 19 points off second chance. I think he had a couple threes off those.
Steve, you've played 5 Game 7s in the Steph era, I think 4 of them with you. Anything from those games that you can use as sort of lessons and reminders? And it's a pretty quick turnaround after 2 disappointing losses. Yeah. What's the challenge in sort of mentally recharging in 48 hours for your season's on the line?
That's the goal. That's the key, right? Starts right now. Players, getting hydrated and getting their rest tonight, and coaches figuring out, what our adjustments will be, and we'll get on the plane tomorrow and we'll be ready to go. I can tell you, our guys are going to be excited, and as I said, I have every confidence that they can get this done.
And can you describe briefly sort of how the vibe's different in Game 7? I mean, there's obviously intensity through all these series, but when it gets to Game 7, what's that like?
It just feels slower. It feels like most Game 7s are kind of rock fights. There's a different vibe. There's a nervous vibe with the home crowd. And there's just a sense of, all right, we're finally here. You know, it's been 2 weeks and both teams throwing haymakers at each other and all that. And that's why people love watching them at home. Game 7s are special, and they're fun to be a part of.
Quentin had, I think, 5 fouls in 17 minutes. It seemed like they were kind of going at him a little bit. How difficult are you seeing this series kind of become for him in the way that they're, kind of attacking him?
Yeah, I thought he handled himself pretty well defensively in the first half. Second half, he got the 2 fouls, I think late third, early fourth, where he came over to help. He was a half step late, and he got the blocking calls. And so we'll watch the tape, and we'll try to help him out on that. But Quentin's been great for us. This second half of the season, and a very important player for us. And I won't hesitate to put him out there in Game 7 if I think that's the right call.
Steve, you told us why you went to Gary to control Fred.
Yeah.
Offensively, with Gary and Draymond being out there together, potentially some spacing issues, how do you think that unit looked?
Well, that's the equation for us. We have to make these decisions. Every coach has to make decisions based on, offense, defense. Gary has shot it really well. I think coming into tonight, he was 45% from 3. He's been making the corner 3 in this series. So we felt like the gamble was worth it to put him on Fred. And, we knew that, taking Brandon out would hurt us a little bit in terms of flow and playmaking. But that was the gamble we took. I don't think it hurt us too badly, but Fred got going anyway. And so in the end, we have to reassess that one and other decisions as well.
Steve, Draymond and Steph have played in 5 of these games each, and then Jimmy has 4. And then on the other side,
Game 7s?
Game 7s. The other side, they have 4 guys that have played a combined total of 10 Game 7s. From your experience, where does the Game 7 playoff experience factor in the most when you're in those type of games?
You mean what aspect of the game?
In the Game 7, yeah. Having been through those, when you have that type of experience.
Just confidence, belief. I know our guys believe, and they'll be ready to go. Thank you.
Draymond, how much disappointment is there in that locker room or in your mind that not being able to take care of this at home?
It's a little frustrating. You get the opportunity to close out at home, want to do it. Nonetheless, it's a 7-game series. We know we can win there. Got to go get the win.
You just kind of mentioned what I wanted to ask. You know you can win there. So obviously you guys feel that you can win. What do you need to do on the road to make sure you guys come out of this one with a win?
Get loose balls. I think they probably had 20 points off broken plays and getting loose balls and kicking off for 3s. So get loose balls and we'll defend them way better. Kind of getting the first effort. But in order to beat this team, you got to make second and third efforts. And last 2 games, we have not done that.
Do you think that's due to fatigue or just a lack of effort?
I think it can be due to whatever. The reality is the person who wants the ball more will get it. And right now, it seems as if they want it more.
I mean, there were times in this game you could see, you and Pods especially, where you guys looked like you were frustrated with the way things were going. How much of the frustration was based on what you guys were not doing, and how much was it with what they were doing?
It's all with what we're not doing, which is fighting to come up with the loose balls when they're out there. It's all what we're not doing.
Is that a very correctable thing, you think?
Absolutely.
Draymond, what you guys have played, I think you played in 5 Game 7s. How is the vibe different? And what's the challenge like after 2 disappointing losses to your season's obviously on the line in 48 hours?
Yeah. You move past the 2 losses, they don't matter. A Game 7 is Game 7. I think anytime you had an opportunity to play in a Game 7, it's fun. It's exciting. It's for all the marbles. So move on. I mean, we've moved on. Learn from what we did wrong. It's kind of obvious what we did wrong. Get ready for the game. But I think Game 7s are fun.
I know you're kind of blaming the loss on some of the effort stuff that didn't go right, but you guys also missed, I think, 14 of your first 15 to start the fourth when you kind of lost control of the game. Like, what is so difficult right now offensively, particularly when, they're going very big and they go to a zone?
I think it was less about the zone and more about we started off the fourth quarter a 2-point game and we gave up a 4-point play. And it's just like you lose the life, So you got to give them some credit. They're doing a great job defensively. That's who they've been. That's why they're the 2 seed. It's because they have a great defense. But in saying that, we can't give up a 4-point play in a 2-point game off one pass ahead. That's crazy. So, yeah, they're doing a great job defensively, but I thought it was also caused by, kind of just losing the life after that.
What, in your, I guess, view, what happened on that play?
I don't know. I haven't seen a replay of it. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously we didn't get matched up. Fred VanVleet's got 17 threes in 3 games. And he's wide open coming out of a timeout. That's crazy.
I guess to follow on that, just what are you noticing with the way you guys are defending him, or what problems are emerging when he has the ball?
I think it's just comfortable. He's comfortable. He's getting to what he wants to get to. Somehow you got to break that up. But he's too comfortable.
Draymond, you've been in a lot of big games back here, a lot of big games, Game 7s on the road. What is the difference and what's a key to getting off to a good start?
Just got to meet force with force. Execute the game plan. Everybody will be excited. There'll be hype in there. They'll be loud. And then the game starts and it's just basketball. So you got to execute your game plan. Stay the course. They're going to make runs. Stay the course. Continue to fight. But got to execute.
How do you see Steven Adams moving out there and the impact he's having on the game? Like, he had 31 minutes in this game.
He's having a great impact. He's doing a great job on the offensive glass. He's doing a great job defensively. I just wish we could get a 3-second call. You stand in the paint, whole possession. It's hard to box out. He's strong as hell. So, being outweighed by, 40, 50 pounds, 6 inches, you can just stand in the paint. It's tough to box him out. So, hopefully we'll get a 3-second call next game. But he's doing incredible.
Draymond, obviously, everything has to be on the table for Game 7, and Kerr said that there's a 100% chance he's going to consider playing Jonathan in Game 7. A lot to ask, but do you think that he would be something interesting to see in a Game 7?
Yeah, he cut out for it. He cut out for whatever you throw at him. He built the right way for that. 1,000%.
If any of your younger teammates asked you for advice about how to approach a Game 7 that's going to have a lot of pressure, what would you tell them?
I'll tell my younger players that because they got younger players and I don't need them getting my advice.
Draymond, as you guys were getting ready for this series, Fred hadn't shot the 3-ball well mostly all season. He hasn't. Are you surprised at all by how well he shot these last few games? Because at first he wasn't shooting at all. I mean, we couldn't get balls to drop.
No, I'm not surprised one bit. Fred VanVleet is the reason we lost to Toronto in the finals. So we know what he's capable of. Not surprised at all.
Just ask you about some of the big basketball news today with Greg Popovich transitioning.
Oh, man, that is my guy. I'm sorry to cut you off, but wow.
Take it.
Coach Pop is incredible. And, none of us knew when that day would come that he'd hang him up. But it sucks to see him go. You love running down the court, seeing him on the sideline. I had the ultimate honor of playing for him and winning a gold medal. And it meant so much to him. You know, he has a military background, obviously, and it just meant so much. And wow, he's one of the most incredible human beings. You know, you get this like this wall that everyone sees. You know how everybody say like everyone says Steven Adams a gentle giant. That's pop. Like you got this wall that's like, you ask a dumb question, he's gonna crush you, right? Like, and it just appears as if he's like this mean old man. And he is the complete opposite. Like, complete opposite. The nicest person you ever want to be around. He cares about people so much. And I was lucky enough and honored to have the opportunity to spend a summer with him and play for him. I gave him my shoes from the gold medal game. He wore them to the first game we played them. And every hug since then has meant so much to me, just to go over to the sideline and hug him. And to see him leave this game from the sideline. Obviously, they say he'll be the president, but that does nothing for me. But to not, you know, it sucked playing against the Spurs this year and look over and not see him there. And to know that I'll never get that opportunity again, I just wish I had one last time to go hug him on the sideline before a game. I know I sound like he's dead, he's not, but he's meant so much to this league, and he means so much to me. His job well done, well-deserved retirement. I hope he enjoys the hell out of it. Clearly, he's not going far because he's going to stay working in basketball. But, man, just everything he's meant to this game. And I'm incredibly grateful that I had the opportunity to play for him.
Draymond, the last Game 7 you had, Steph scored 50 points. And I'm just wondering how you see him respond to that kind of pressure when probably everyone is looking to him to do something special.
We look to him to do something special every night. For the last 13 years I've been here, I don't think it's any different.
That it?
Oh.
We had 3 offensive rebounds, dude. That sucks.
Hey, Steven, what is it about the Rockets' defense? What is it about y'all's defense when you're on the court? What kind of difference do you make, especially in the zone?
Me?
Yeah.
What difference do I make?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I just follow the game plan, bro. Defensive game plan. We communicate. Yeah, I think we do well. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that question, bro. I think it's all right.
That's all right. Not a lot of people play zone against the Warriors. Y'all do and have had a lot of success. Why is it successful?
I think it's just due to the instincts of the players, honestly, because we do such a good job at just making sure we know where the threats are, and then also just making up those windows. Because again, the thing with the zone is that like there are windows to attack. There are weak spots, obviously, and yeah, we just manage to scramble and get to those spots like pretty good. You know what I mean? Rotation. So it's the window for error is actually. You know what I mean? We keep it very tight. On top of that, too, we do a good job rebounding, keeping them to one shot. You know what I mean? Like that's a key. That's a key weakness with the zone. It's because usually you're out of place to rebound. You know, so it's good, bro. It's a weird zone. Yeah, it's not like I don't know. It's just like a bizarre one, but it works.
Do you believe in like the concept of like a playoff riser, and do you think that Fred has kind of found that mode these last few games?
What is it, a playoff riser?
Yeah, like someone who finds a different playoff mode, they can rise to the level in the postseason specifically.
Yeah. Are you asking, do I think it's a thing? Yeah.
thing first of all, and do you think that
Yeah.
that's what's happening with
No,
Fred?
it's 100% a thing, and it could be any player. Even if other players, like you got to look at the strategy of playoffs. It comes down to like a lot of numbers game, right? So if someone in the regular season they mainly attack, say they average X amount of points, if you blitz them the whole game, you force the ball out of their hand. Obviously, their volume of shots is going to go down. So then their points per game is going to go down. So that still don't judge them on like that person's not a riser. No, it's what the defense is presenting. You're enough of a threat that they're taking that away. You know what I'm saying? So then like you just have to find a different way to attack, which means that there's other players that may be quote unquote a riser, depending on how you value them. Okay, they might score more, so you're like, oh well, this guy scores more points now, he's a riser. It's up to you. It's all up to you, individual, whatever you guys put value on. For the I'll go with you. Oh, it's Australian. Had to. Yeah, but you know what I mean. So, yeah.
I remember in Utah, you told me in the playoffs it's really important for everybody to know their exact role and perform their role at the highest level. How have you seen this Rockets team do just that?
I think, again, at this point, it's just like, it's just trusting the system, trusting each other. And I think the boys are doing a really good job at honing in on it exactly that. Because again, these positions are very, very crucial. Even our previous games, if you look at it, it's like basically a one-position game before it kind of gets away, you know what I mean? But it's like one-position game. So a lot of them, if you stick to your role, not trying to do too much outside of that. And what I mean by that is like you don't want to surprise your teammates by doing stuff that we haven't actually gone over and stuff like this, you know what I mean? Not saying that sometimes you're forced to, but you want to stay within like the certainties of our system, you know? So, good job to the lads.
Hey, much respect. You've been extremely aggressive, a lot of blocks, and want to see where this energy comes from. This last few games, a lot of blocks coming in, and much respect.
Thank you, bro. Was that a question? Oh, what is it?
All this energy come from in this last few games with all the blocks?
No, that's just. Look, it just comes down to the defensive system, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm going every time, you know what I mean? But, like, the boys on the ball is doing a really good job at making sure that these guys throw up an off-balance shot. Those are the ones you can go after, like the block shots, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just like you have to be there. If I'm the low guy, which I try to be, well, most of the time I try and be the low man so I could come over and contest the shots and stuff. Just sometimes you get blocked, sometimes they just throw up something else. But it's just the job. But thanks, bro. What a nice man.
Stephen, obviously it's been a while since the Rockets won a playoff series. What do you expect that atmosphere to be like on Sunday?
Yeah, it should be good, bro. The fans been showing out, so it should be good atmosphere and whatnot. Game 7, so I'm sure they'll be, as they are, very excited and whatnot. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah. So, should be good, bro.
I think you played over 30 minutes today for the first time since 2023, maybe?
Yeah.
Is that taking anything out of you, or how you feeling?
Yeah, no, it's good, bro. It was, again, I'm just out there for as long as he needs me for, bro. Just doing the job. Again, I think it just comes down to one of these things. If I end up dipping in quality of, impact-wise, then obviously, get me out, but whatever, man. I just do whatever coach says, mate. It's good stuff.
Steven, to your left.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, bro?
Nice
Haven't
to see
seen you
you.
in a long time, mate.
You've been in a lot of these playoff battles. When you guys are down 3-1, what was the mood with the group? And then with Ime, like, what was the message? What kind of message was he sharing at that time?
What was the start
Coach
of the question?
Udoka.
Yeah, what was the start of the
mood
question? Yeah.
when you're down 3-1 of
Yeah.
the whole group.
Yeah.
And then what was Ime telling you guys about trying to get this back?
There's nothing. You don't want to make it too, put too much extra stuff on it, because again, for our games, they were really close games, very one possession games, and then it was maybe we missed some free throws, we could have won those games, or we attacked appropriately, we would have won those games. You know what I mean? It's very marginal. So it's not like you need some big hoorah speech about, oh, digging deep. Yeah, it's like, brother, we're right there. You know what I mean? And so, since you're right there, you just make a slight adjustments, attack more, be more confident with your stuff, and that's what's been happening. You know what I mean? We're just being more deliberate and intentional with our stuff, and it's working in our favor. You know, but yeah, is it? Okay. It's good enough, eh? Cheers, boys. All right, y'all in.
Jimmy, both Steve and Draymond said that 4-point shot play that VanVleet had really seemed to turn the game. Did you feel that when you were on the court that it kind of was deflating?
Yeah. Anytime you start out a quarter not organized, not matched up, it's definitely deflating. One play that definitely turned the tides, but we're not going to sit here and say that that's the real reason why we lost.
What would you say is the reason?
We just gotta get these 50-50 balls. We gotta rebound better. That's been the story this entire series. They've gotten the loose balls and they've gotten way too many offensive rebounds.
You guys also, you missed, I think, 14 of your first 15 to open the fourth after that VanVleet three. What would you say is leading to some of these prolonged offensive droughts?
I think it's the pressing part of it. We'll be fine. We just got to continue to make the right play time after time after time. If somebody's open, they get the ball, you create for somebody else, and then just the karma of the game, you're going to find yourself more open more often than not.
Jimmy, what would you say would be the reason for the lack of hustle plays coming out on you guys? Is in a lack of effort or a lack of energy?
I won't say that it's a lack of effort. It's just if you want to do it or not. That is the bottom line. If you want to rebound, if you want to dive on a loose floor, if you want to take a charge, all those little things is if you want to do it. It's really that simple.
You always talk about taking the right shot or getting to the right shot. Do you think some of the guys are turning down the right shot a little bit too often?
Sometimes, yeah. But, too much of any good thing is a bad thing. You can be way too unselfish. You can be way too passive. I think you got to find a fine line. And, yes, obviously if Steph is open, you pass up your shot to get it to him. But when it comes to everybody else, like if you find your shot and you're in rhythm, you take it. If you're not, it's simple. Pass it to the next open guy or create for somebody else or create for yourself. I think a lot of the times we do a lot of thinking, and it doesn't end well for us.
Jimmy, I think you've been in 4 Game 7s. Draymond and Steph have played in 5 each. On the other side, they have a total of like 10 Game 7 experience. Where does that playoff experience of being in a Game 7 help you guys the most?
I think we just know how important it is. They do too, though. On the road, backs against the wall. I think this is why you play this game. I know, we know that we have the opportunity to win the game. So on the road, at Houston, Game 7, Sunday at some time.
And you said the other night after the game, the confidence hasn't wavered. Now that you've lost 2 in a row, where is it at?
At an all-time high. It's now, out of all times, it's win or go home. It's not wavering. We know how good of a team we are. Like you said, a couple of us have been here before, multiple times. So it's on us to make sure we get it done.
Jimmy, from your experience, tell us what a Game 7 feels like, how it's different, what's the vibe is like, what the energy, the whole feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be higher energy, but it shouldn't feel any different for anybody. You go out there and you play basketball the way that you know how to play it. For us, for my teammates, those nerves don't need to set in. We're going to be just fine. Game 7 is not the hardest thing in the world, so we'll be okay.
Jimmy, Steven Adams has been a huge factor in this series, especially in this game. When you look at some of the offensive boards he's been getting and just his dominance inside, what's an adjustment you think you guys can make for Game 7 to kind of neutralize him or try to neutralize him?
Just get the ball. You got to jump. You got to get the ball. It's hard. It is. But if you want to win in this league, you definitely got to do some hard things. So just got to go get the ball.
Speaking as one who's guarding him and you've got the tailbone, like how do you feel physically? Like where's your level?
Good enough. Good enough. I probably got to jump up there and get some more rebounds. I've been being lazy, so I'm going to definitely chase after the loose balls, dive, do all of that good stuff come Game 7. I should have been doing it anyways, but lead by example. If I do it, everybody else got to do it.
You know, end of games, tight games, it's about getting inside, like attacking the paint, high percentage shots. Do you feel like y'all are doing that enough? Are you settling for too many threes in those high leverage moments?
I mean, we already shoot a lot of threes, so, you know, we're going to take the shots that are given to us. And it actually is my job to make sure that I get inside the paint, get some layups, get to the free throw line, collapse the defense, and kick it to the open shooter. So if I haven't been doing enough, then I will do it more.
I mean, you and Steph obviously carried the heaviest load on the offensive end, but what do you need from your supporting cast? I mean, is it effort? Is it just production? Is it efficiency? What do you need from the guys to kind of get this team where you want to be?
Confidence. Keep them confident. Keep doing what y'all are doing. It's not on y'all. It's on all of us. So we're going to win together. We're going to lose together. But I know we're definitely going to win together come Sunday.
And how would you describe the vibe before the game tonight, going into this game?
We good. We good. We smiling. We listen to our music, celebrating life, and we're ready to compete. We were ready to compete tonight. Things didn't go our way. Okay, we're gonna be ready to compete on Sunday, and we're gonna make the game go our way.
Steven Adams was a factor for the Rockets tonight. Just going into Game 7, how do you guys kind of adjust to what he was able to do tonight if he's able to do that at home in
We'll be
Game
all right.
7?
I think we got to stop focusing so much on them and focus on us. If we do that, then we're going to be fine. We're not going to sit here and act like we've been playing our best version of basketball, because we haven't. And they've been doing okay, but they haven't played their best version of basketball either. So what we're going to do, we're going to focus on us. We're going to get the ball from Steven Adams for the last time, but we got to focus on us. We can't keep focusing on the Houston Rockets.
Jimmy, from the outside, a lot of people are saying, oh, my God, this team is veteran, 35, 37, and now they got to go all the way back to Houston with very little rest and win another game, and that's going to be so hard. How do you guys react to this kind of noise about age and travel and the toll this series is taking?
I've never been one to listen to the outside noise or people as a whole, because they just be saying stuff and half of it don't make sense. So we'll be all right. I mean, I'm 35. I can't remember how old Steph is. I think Dre 35 too. We'll be all right. Everybody got to travel the same distance. It ain't like we're going to go around the world and then land in Houston and they only got a 5-minute flight to Houston. So they got to travel just like we got to travel. Bet.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you.
I hope not. I'm not really concerned with their game plan and what they're trying to do. I think we got to read it however it plays out. But one thing about this team is we've prided ourselves on our balance all season and having different guys that can attack depending on how the defense reads us. So I've just been trying to take advantage of the opportunities when they come my way and step up and make shots when it's in rhythm. So obviously we know who we're playing through, but at the end of the day, you just got to read the game the way that they're guarding and take what the defense gives you.
Everyone on your team always says you're so calm in these big moments. How do you stay that way?
I don't know. Probably just my personality. And now, as I get a little older, being able to play in enough of these games to realize, a calm, steady mind is the best path forward, and not getting too high or too low and not getting carried away, trusting the work, trust your teammates, and things usually work out, in the big picture.
Fred, over these last 3 games, your game has obviously increased up a notch. In terms of being a playoff riser, does your experience help you in these moments in terms of just being able to take poise and take control over the young guys?
Yeah, I think just being ready for the moment, and you work all year and you train all summer, for these moments, and I've always prided myself on trying to rise to the occasion. I've taken a different role for this team over the last 2 years and just trying to squeeze as much juice out of this group as possible. But, I'm ready and willing, when the time comes to step up and make big plays. But, again, I think we pride ourselves on being a balanced team and having a deep team, and different guys were huge. Alperen obviously was huge. As usual, Steven Adams, incredible. Ime played a balanced game. I thought DB got in foul trouble, so he was a little out of it. And Jalen didn't
score a ton, and but he played a great game as well, rebounding and defensively. So we need. Jabari made 2 huge threes in one of those plays. Aaron came in and hit a big 3. So it's going to take everybody. It's not really just about me.
This is for both of you. Alpi, how are you feeling yourself and the other young guys grow throughout the playoff experience? And Fred, how are you seeing the young guys grow throughout the playoff experience?
I mean, I feel like I have to play like this. So, they took Jalen out of the game. They pressuring him, and they kind of let him play, let him make the plays. So I just know I have to play aggressive. So that's the mindset I goes to the game, and that's why I was trying to play hard.
Yeah, I think just not being that surprised. Obviously, Game 1 was full of jitters. Game 3 was kind of the similar, being on the road for the first time. And, once you get that initial shock out of the way, been able to settle in and play basketball the way that we've played all year, and we've been one of the better teams all year. So just trying to be able to execute and play our game at a high enough level. And if we play our game at a high enough level, we'll always have a chance to win. So trying to continue to keep guys focused and locked in and not getting, outside your body, due to the moment.
Fred, obviously you just mentioned about it because the experience you have, you always stay calm and your personality. But do you feel surprised that your teammates, especially very young, and that they can stay calm at this type of game?
No, not at all. I've believed in these guys since I got here from day one, and just seeing them rise to the occasion every single time. I'm just disappointed when they don't do it because I know what they're capable of. So I'm more surprised when they don't stay calm, when they don't rise to the moment, because I know how much talent we have. And as a guy that's been there, we have enough to get it done. It's just a matter of can we play at a high enough level, all at the same time. So we've been able to do that over the last couple games, but we got to stay focused and do it one more time.
Alperen, what kind of leader is Fred on and off the court?
He's amazing, We've been saying that for 2 years now. He's leading us on the court, off the court, and we're letting him do that, So even he wasn't playing this year, he was still leading us. He was saying, I don't want to talk, but, he was saying, I hate talking when I'm not playing, but still, we needed that. And he came back leading us all the time, and we're letting him do that. And we see the followers in the court.
Alpi, I was wondering if you could describe to me what makes Steven Adams so effective defensively and on the boards.
I mean, they got to box him out with 2 people. And, I hate playing with him in the practices. So I'm sure other teams hate him too. So he give me a lot of space when 2 bodies got to box him out. And I go over there and he does the hard job. I do the easy job out there and clean up, So it just impacting a lot for us and defensively too.
Fred, when you made a decision to sign with Houston, did you have moments like Sundays in mind where you had an opportunity to play in a Game 7 in advance to the next round?
Yeah, you always dream of the moment, the best moment possible, and rising to the occasion and building up a team. But I think first and foremost, it was hard to see that far. When I first got there, first practices, first training camp, we just had so much work to do. But it's just a testament to these young guys and how far they've come in such a short amount of time. I can bark all day. Ime can bark all day. It's not going to matter if these guys didn't put the work in, if they weren't hungry, if they weren't selfless, if they weren't confident, if they weren't talented. So, they get all the credit in the world. They make me look good. And, again, it's not time to celebrate yet. We got to stay focused and focus and get ready to play again.
Fred, there was a moment in the fourth quarter where you guys held them without a field goal for nearly 8 minutes. What was the key defensively in terms of staying in the zone and being aggressive?
Yeah, just attention to detail, trying to find the shooters. We've been experimenting with some things in the zone and having the bigs on the back line and then just kind of morphing and flying around. And half the time we don't even know what the hell we're doing out there. So I'm sure it's hard to game plan against, but just flying around, having effort, being physical. And we know the guys that we want to limit their touches and their shots, make it tough on them, come up with a rebound. So that was a huge stretch for us there. Kind of take the air out of the building, deflate them a little bit, and then they went to the fouling Steven, and he stepped up to the line and made some big free throws. So kind of gave us a little gap there.
I got to ask, what is it like dealing with the crowd out here in the Warriors Stadium?
The crowd. What's it like dealing with the crowd?
I mean, it was like Fred said. The first game we played over here, it was hard. It shocked us, but after that, now we know, and we just focus on the game. We don't care about the fans, what they're saying, how loud they are. So we just focus on the game, and that's the older guys we have. That's why they're helping us. They're keeping us calm, and they're trying to make us stay on the game. So they help us a lot. And like I said, third game was I think big impact they did, but it didn't impact us anymore.
Thank you.
Steph, many of your teammates have come in here and said that the downfall tonight is not getting after the 50-50 balls, the want to kind of get those hustle plays and have them go in your favor. Why do you think that is happening, and how do you think that changes in Game 7?
You just got to go do it. Like, we were down, 2 going into the fourth. They are playing zone against us pretty much, the whole second half, and you can kind of look at the possession here. That the start of the fourth, Fred getting an and 1-3. That's a tough momentum play. Jabari got 2 threes off of a good hustle play and a tough turnover, and then another offensive rebound that turned into a 3 that, a possession here, possession there. It's not just the points on the board. It's a feeling. It's a vibe. It's a morale. It's momentum. And, you got to dig deep to win these type of games. So, thankfully, we have another opportunity to go do it. Very confident that we can go do it.
Steph, do you see some sense of hesitancy on some of your guys not to take the shot? Do you tell them, hey, it's okay if you miss or make, just take the shot, or do you want them to keep passing the ball, just trying to make sure the perfect shot's there?
There's a reason they're playing us zone for a whole half, pretty much, and they're trying to force a certain type of shot. Obviously, I took probably 4 heavily contested deep threes just to try to kind of will us. But if they're going to do that and they're going to play zone and make certain guys shoot it, then it's the same way we talk about it all season long, regular season, playoffs. Like, everybody's in this league for a reason. If you have a shot, take it. I don't need to say anything. Coach doesn't need to say anything. You're out there, be aggressive. Look for your shot and we'll live with it. That's the name of the game. The shots that we're creating or the shots that are open, keep taking them.
Do you have to, as you look at this zone, do you feel like you're getting the looks you want? Just going back to that answer, do you just feel like you need to keep doing the same thing and hopefully, your other guys make those shots, or do you guys need to attack this zone different?
Well, it's probably a little bit of both. I don't know if it's a surprise. It might be a little bit of surprise that they played that much zone, but I think we could probably look at a little bit more film and see where those shots are, see where those driving lanes are. Obviously, when you drive, they have Steven Adams in the middle of the paint waiting on you. So whether that's a drive to a kick to a swing that's going to get you a step-in 3, I think we can be a little bit more patient on certain possessions. But you have to make shots at the end of the day. Fred hit some big momentum ones. Jabari hit some big momentum ones. Those are, can swing momentum again. So for us, don't panic. Just, make the necessary adjustments and understand how they're defending us, and we should be all right.
Steph, you and Draymond have 5 Game 7s together, and Jimmy's played in 4 of them over here. Where does that Game 7 experience factor in the most when you're actually in a Game 7? How does it help you guys the most?
Just the confidence that no matter how it looks, we can get it done. We need to be composed. We need to be able to manage the emotions of the next 48 hours. Again, not panic, but have a sense of urgency on the adjustments that we need to make going into Game 7. And how to deal with a hostile environment. I think we've had one in that building before, and you understand the crowd's going to be into it. How we start the game is going to matter, but it's going to be a long 48 minutes to stick with it and, come with a level of aggressiveness, intention to detail, or attention to detail, and just the idea that, it's going to be a game of runs. You got to just embrace it, have fun with it, show up with a kind of killer instinct. Everybody got to be like that.
Steph, this is like my third time watching you play. And I'll say like it gets crazier every time. Like seeing you get triple teamed, you're getting like held almost every play. So like how do you stay like locked in the whole time when the defense is like doing everything it can to like stop you or get you involved?
Just embrace it and still try to find a way to impact the game. You see all type of defenses, and at the end of the day, you have to be able to figure it out.
How do you feel physically? What are your fatigue levels?
I actually feel great. You're having to work, and that's fine. I think that it's weird because the zone, it doesn't necessarily take the most out of you, or demand the most physically. It's just mentally trying to figure out where the holes, where the pockets are, where the openings are. But I feel great.
Is the solution to get in the paint, or is it to make, shoot them out of a zone, or do you want to get inside?
I mean, it's a balance because again, they have size and they're playing the two bigs and trying to buy possessions defensively with the zone so that they can take advantage of it on the other end. I think in the fourth quarter, we struggled that first 6 minutes, and you have to resist the temptation to rush and force shots if it's me or Jimmy trying to get good looks, but use the attention they're going to throw at us, whether it's me running around trying to find openings or Jimmy driving, to make the defense collapse and swing and find open looks. But I think for the most part, we got a lot of pretty good looks in the fourth. We just didn't make them. And then on the other end, they made a couple. They got a bunch of offensive rebounds, and then we had to go hack at Steven Adams for a while. So make shots, and that's me, that's Jimmy, that's everybody.
You mentioned a couple of times that Kuminga could or should have a role in this series. I know he's played a little bit already, but could Game 7 be a really nice time for that for him?
I think everything's on the table for sure, and him included. It's the ultimate challenge of staying ready. I know he has answered that question plenty of times that he is ready. And it's going to be good for us to get into the war room and figure out what those adjustments are going to be personnel-wise, scheme-wise, to give our best effort for Game 7. The good part or the fun part about this is no matter how it looks, you win one game, you hit reset and get an opportunity to play another series. And this is a grind. This is tough. This is what it's supposed to be in the playoffs, to bring the best out of you, to earn the right to get to the next round. So for us, everybody's got to be willing to step up. And if you're asked to play, you're asked to impact the game, be ready to go do it.
Steph, you just said this is a grind, and it's obviously been a grind. One of the subplots is that you guys are an older team and now having to fly, play game, go back and forth. is it taking a toll? Is it harder now than it was a couple years ago?
It's different. It's always been hard to win. Like, don't get that twisted in terms of not just you, everybody. Just in the sense of, like, winning is hard and sustaining it is hard, and there are different challenges of figuring out a team that's trying to, take you out of your rhythm or your patterns or whatnot, and you're playing against a really good team. So if you want to win at the highest level, you have to embrace the hard, whether it's the physical challenges of, doing it at this stage of your career, or whether it's just because you're playing a good team. Like, we've had challenges all throughout this run, and this is another one.
Steph, you guys have had a couple chances to close them out this series. Just what is your reaction to the fact that it got to Game 7 this series?
I mean, thankfully we have another game to play, and we did our work early in the series to give us some cushion. But they're the 2 seed. They have home court advantage in the series because they're a really good team, and they've demonstrated that all season. We've been on a run since the trade to have an opportunity to play a Game 7 in a playoff series and get to the next round. So, again, in February, if you told us we had a Game 7, we would take that all day long. How we got here, not happy about it, but we do have another opportunity.
Steph, over here, how are Game 7s different than Games 1 through 6? I mean, they're all intense and competitive. What's different about a Game 7? And related question, do you have any specific snapshot memory of Game 7 in Sacramento 2 years ago?
No, it's just the nerves and the adrenaline, and, you understand the stakes. If you don't play a game, your best game, or you don't figure out a way to win, you're going home. But it's also exhilarating because when you do, it brings the best out of you, and there's no better feeling of, closing out a series, with, just the whole Game 7 vibe. So there's one tomorrow. We get to watch it. We got one on Sunday. Like, it's what this league is about, and it's a great opportunity to show up when it matters most. And have an opportunity to move on. So you don't really do anything different, but you have to embrace the nerves and the adrenaline of it.
Do you have a specific memory from Sacramento?
I mean, that was just a great game overall. Hopefully I can repeat that.
Asked Draymond earlier about how there were some moments in this game when your guys were frustrated, visibly frustrated, Draymond, Pods, and I said, is that because of something that Rockets were doing to you guys, or is it because of something you guys weren't doing? He had an answer. What's your answer to that? Why was the frustration level sort of visible at times today?
There were momentum plays that you want to have back, like 50-50 balls that we didn't get, offensive rebounds that we let them have, just breakdowns where they're getting open looks. There were times we would make a run, we couldn't get over the hump, and like, you understand there was pressure to win on your home floor. They're playing great. Like, you got to give them credit. It's not like we're just laying an egg and rolling over. We're fighting. We're trying to compete. There's just in the margins some things that we can do better and control what we can control, and I think we can do that in Game 7.
Steph, knowing that things change year to year in this league, how much does will play a factor in just wanting to have another game, another series with this particular group of guys on your team?
It's kind of baked into the nature of a Game 7. If you don't show up with that appropriate mentality, then you got a long vacation ahead of you, so you don't want to be the team that's packing up. We're packing for a week, getting on this plane to go to Texas and hopefully go to Minnesota right after. That's the approach, and I know we're all excited about the fact that we still have life left, even though these last 2 games haven't gone our way.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes.
We'll